It's the NFC Championship game, and the road to a Super Bowl goes through Houston. It's the Tigers and the Oilers on Sunday night primetime.
This is the NFL on EA Sports as we join you from the so-called Space City, Houston, Texas. Coming up, a battle to One of these teams will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time. Which will it be as we're underway in the NFC title game? And the opening kickoff will not be returned as that will be a touchback. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a peek at the man under center. He has 5 full years in the league under his belt, now in year number 6.
And we can talk all we want about football being a team game and leaning on different parts and aspects in order to get it done. And that's entirely true during the regular season. Some weeks it's the defense, special teams, running the football. But in the playoffs, all the pressure reverts to the quarterback, and he has to play well and play at a really high level in order for his team to win.
This one out quickly to Watkins. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Harvey. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards to play.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Hands it off out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field, I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Looking to throw. Harvey. It's caught by Davis. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 22 yards there, a 1st down. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
On 1st and 10, Harvey. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Like the footwork back there, I thought you did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Harvey. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Well, safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a third down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it because 4 for 4 already. I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on third down. It's a big conversion there on third down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a first and goal.
And guys, man, it's caught. Touchdown, Houston. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Oilers have struck first in this NFC title game. So they take the opening kickoff and drive it all the way down the field.
And that's the last thing you want defensively. On the road, in the playoffs, and now you're down a touchdown right away.
They begin with Henry. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Off the play fake. Count away. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 39 yards there, a big one.
I guess we got a good idea about what the game plan is for attacking this secondary. No beating around the bush with this crew. His first throw of the game is a deep shot, and it connects. That's a tendency breaker right there because normally you build up to the big shot, but not in this case.
They moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one. They keep it with Henry on first down. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out, had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A 10-yard touchdown run. And the Tigers respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Second down and 4. Back to throw. Harvey on the slant. He's got Davis. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence. 2nd quarter now, and it's our home team with possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Harvey. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And this is good for a first down, his second grab of this NFC Championship bout.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
The throw over the middle, taken in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. 40 yards. And his guys have taken the lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. So the drive there, 5 plays, 80 yards. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll elect not to run with it. A fair catch will move this out to the 25-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10.
19.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 49 yards rushing for him now. A strong performance here in this first half with a Super Bowl berth on the line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
The false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15.
19-18.
After the penalty, it's Henry. And he'll push ahead for about 3 to the 36.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. To throw on 2nd down. Callaway. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Come 19.
Back to throw. Callaway. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that... down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They'll run for it with Henry. And he will have the 1st down as he gets this to the 47. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a 1st down. I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
On first down, Callaway over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. Not liking the look. They'll change the play. On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 12 yards there and a first down.
It's been a long season, but he still looks fresh running the football. He knows his guys are one game away from a Super Bowl, so he's going to give it all he's got. And that's a heck of a run right there.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They'll run it again with Henry. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was a terrific play, causing a loss. As a middle linebacker, simple. You can either fill holes or you can attack them, as he did there.
Henry up the middle. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed out hard there. He was ready for that running play. 3rd and 9 here. Looking to throw. Callaway. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he probably should have given that one off, as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, he had success earlier in the drive keeping it himself. Not here, though.
And sometimes when you have that kind of success, you can fall in love with the option a little bit too much and not give the defense credit for making adjustments themselves. And that play starts to lose its effectiveness.
Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. But sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face, because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
3rd and goal here, a big play brewing in this NFC title game. Here's Henry. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker, as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. And his kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And with only 9 seconds remaining, well, not much time, we'll see how they play this. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. It's a pickup of 3 on the play, but with it, time has run out on the first half of play. Yeah, who has time for a halftime show with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line? Let's get back to it. We welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Hallis Trophy still hangs in the balance as the second half now underway in the NFC Championship game. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Holding, receiving team.
They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
Henry out of the pistol.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
A first down carry for Henry. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Second and 10.
Again, it's Henry. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Well, looks like they'll move things around here.
From the gun on third down. Callaway. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Now an option play, and he'll keep it.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so he didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Off play action. Callaway.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Inside the 10.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, CD, we have seen it many times throughout the course of
On the ready. On the ball, now. Ready.
Throwing after the interception. Callaway. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again.
This will go to Henry out wide.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw. Callaway. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air, never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
No move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Back to throw again. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Callaway. Looking left side, and it's complete. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Looking to throw. Callaway eluding the pressure right.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Back to 60. Back to 60.
Back to throw. Callaway, complete. It's Henry. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8.
They'll look to throw again.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
And that is incomplete. Oh, my goodness. He was in his own zip code, but somehow could not look it in.
And that is not what you expect from a receiver of his caliber. Sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself, you don't look it in, and all of a sudden it's off the ground. A surprise to all.
18 ready. 18 ready. 19 tight. 19 tight. 10 for 11. 10 for 11.
On 4th down, Callaway. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert. And they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. So they'd converted their first 2 4th down attempts. Not there. Now they're 2 for 3.
You think maybe the offense coordinator expended a little capital on that one? You know, when you're 2 for 2, you can lobby for that 3rd one, right? Didn't get it there. Maybe now the head coach might.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
We're in the 3rd quarter of the NFC title game. This is 2nd and 10.
Off the play fake. Callaway. He's going to try and go deep again. And this is taken in at the 5. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
Henry is going backwards. It's going to be tackled back at the 4-yard line.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Callaway. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. From 4 yards out.
And the Tigers are able to get a score back in the final stages of this 3rd quarter.
They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. 1 quarter remains until the NFC. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Harvey. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. He's still on his feet.
Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there.
Ready? Rig alert, rig alert. Warrior 70. Ready.
Throwing to start the drive. Callaway is going to go for a big play downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got him this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. Callaway. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Throwing on first down. Callaway. Flushed out right. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Here's a quick throw caught out wide. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense.
Well, every lineman knows the rule. You only get a 1-yard buffer beyond that line of scrimmage, and then the flag is thrown, and he got tagged for it there.
Ready, break.
Operating from the gun. Callaway. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
On the set.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown from 17 yards out.
And the Tigers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
Extra point attempt to come here. And the lead is down to a field goal now. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Houston set to take over.
And right now they're just looking for a little more cushion, trying to make this a 2-score game. Points here would go a long way, obviously, to propelling them into the next round.
And this is where the head coach, offensive coordinator, they've had to set a tone all year long about what they do on offense. So most teams want to stay in attack mode, but you have to do it with some bit of caution, don't you? Because you can't come away with no points. You need these points here in order to feel a lot better about where they are in this game.
But this time of the year, playoffs, game of this magnitude, this is what we hope for.
Yeah, it's exactly what we hope for. You want to run your offense cautiously, but not so cautiously that you just give it up.
To throw on 2nd down.
Harvey, a quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 4.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The 3rd down conversion is successful. Give him 12 yards that time.
And that pickup of a 1st down, that's going to leave a mark, because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here, down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
So the completion good for 7 there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. And it's
rush coming, and he's taken down. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their 1st time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. And they'll send out their punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. This will be fielded at the 17. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The situation for them offensively as follows. Down by a field goal, 2:12 to play. A field goal sends this championship game to overtime as they've got a 1st and 10. And a busy night for Henry continues. It'll be a minimum pickup, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's our visitors with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
They'll come up now, 2nd and 9.
Looking to throw. Callaway. They set up the screen for Henry. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the...
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. Totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long.
Dragon 60.
Back to throw. Wide open receiver complete.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Super Bowl aspirations on the line. A critical one here. It's 3rd down.
Back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. That's complete to Whitaker. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play.
This is 1st and 10.
19 Lions. Check.
He's back to throw.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Just over 30 seconds remain. Here's 2nd and 10 now.
He'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. It may be a little short of the 1st down, but I thought that was the key.
They'll look to throw. Flush to his right.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game.
Here we go.
This offense cannot stop the clock now. No timeouts remaining as they come up here 1st down.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
And that one to the right side and incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Now here's a timeout coming on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And this one is right down the middle. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. They find some open field here. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And that will get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. On 1st and 10, Harvey. Here we go. This to avoid overtime. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
Well, 4 quarters couldn't settle things. It's going to take overtime to figure out who wins the George Halas Trophy and punches their ticket to the Super Bowl. The Chicago offense set to get started. Well, CD, certainly doesn't get any more exciting than this. Overtime in the postseason. Of course, keep in mind things are different than the old way it was. In the playoffs now, both teams guaranteed a possession, so a touchdown here, if they get one, the ball game will not be over.
And partners, we both know many people have called for this change before, and they finally got it. After the Buffalo-Kansas City Classic in the 2022 playoffs, Patrick Mahomes and KC, they scored first. Game over. Josh Allen and Bills never touched the football, and people hated that. Now if the game reaches OT, every playoff team has a chance to fight to extend their season. So the plan has got to be, if you win the toss and you take the ball, reach the end zone and score, and put as much pressure on your opponent as possible to try and win a game in OT in the playoffs.
Here comes a big one now in overtime. This is 3rd and inches. Off play action. Callaway. And that is incomplete. A big call here in overtime. They're going for it on 4th down. They'll run. It's Henry. And he will have a first down as they get into the ground at the 37. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down.
A nice start for them here to overtime, and maybe the plan here is don't do anything too crazy. Don't try for some big play, Charles. Just move the chains, put the pressure on the defense.
Well, these early first downs are certainly nice confidence builders as they begin overtime, because even though you've just played 4 quarters, the feeling's entirely different when you take the field in OT, because you just want to settle in, as you suggested, keep the ball moving, and rely on your opponent to make that first big mistake.
That will throw here to his running back, and he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Well, partner, recent conference championship games that have been needed to decide who goes to the Super Bowl. What do you got?
Well, if you go back to 2015, how about Green Bay at Seattle? And it looks like Green Bay's got this thing. Russell Wilson to Jermaine Kearse, that gets it done. And then go back to 2010. We think Brett Favre with the Vikings has the destiny, but they're in New Orleans. It's the Saints, and they get it done. And in overtime, go on to the Super Bowl. They won that one. They beat the Colts, correct?
Yep. A couple of the more memorable ones for sure.
Now they'll audible to something else.
Inside handoff, Henry. And he's taken down inside the 30.
119 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Steps away. This is caught. Touchdown.
And Charles, that touchdown alone doesn't win him the game anymore with the rule changes and overtime of the postseason, but they still went down, scored, got the job done, and now they put it in the hands of their defense.
And with the other side now guaranteed an overtime possession, getting that score was vital. The pressure is now on their opponent, and their defense, they have to play off the momentum the offense generated. One stop, and they end this game.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
And now out comes Houston.
And CD, the pressure is on here. Only a touchdown on this series will prevent their season from coming to an end right here, right now.
And this is why the postseason overtime rules were changed, partner, to afford teams an opportunity to respond in this.
Oh, and it's intercepted.
Gigantic play by this defense, Charles. So they came back in the fourth quarter, took the momentum into overtime, and now they take the football.
And how do you think the team that just threw the pick feels right now? They surrendered the lead, got to overtime, had a chance to redeem themselves, and now they put the game in jeopardy with another pick. And guess what? Their defense has to hold.
Well, the change in rules from the regular season to the playoffs at least gave both teams, Charles, an opportunity, but it turns out the team who scored first got the victory.
They certainly did, partner, but it wasn't as simple as getting a quick touchdown and calling it a day, because they need a standout